Am I the asshole for telling my fiancée my daughter has to be in our wedding? I, 45M, have a daughter, Polly, from a previous relationship. I divorced my ex-wife on good terms and we share 50-50 custody of Polly. She is now 11. After I divorced my ex-wife, I met my now fiancée, Sharon. Sharon and my daughter got along very well. After 5 years in my relationship with Sharon, I proposed. Sharon was super excited and wanted to start planning right away. She looked at venues and started asking her friends to be her bridesmaids. She then told me she wanted her niece to be a flower girl, which I had no problem with, but I said I also wanted Polly to be a flower girl. Sharon looked at my funny and then said that she didn't think that Polly would fit the part. I got angry and told Sharon that my daughter would be in our wedding. Sharon started to become upset and said that the girls in the wedding were up to her and Polly wouldn't be one of them. I told Sharon that if Polly wasn't in the wedding then there might not be a wedding. I stormed out and took Polly to get ice cream. Polly knows we are getting married and told me she thinks she will look pretty. Whatever dress Sharon decides she should wear. This broke my heart and I decided to text Sharon. I told her I would be staying at a friend's to think this over. My MIL texted me saying I am overreacting and that my daughter doesn't have to be in my wedding, and I was and asked for saying that I would cancel. So did I take it too far saying I will cancel? Am I overreacting or just being a good dad? Edit. Thank everyone for the comments and suggestions. I will post an update in the near future. Talked to her mom this morning because I wanted Polly to start with her until this was figured out. Her mom said she hopes it goes well and told me I could stay with her and Polly if need be. She said Polly always comes home with nothing negative to say, so we aren't sure where this came from. Hey Reddit, thank everyone for all the kind words and suggestions. To answer a few questions, my daughter is not disabled, chubby, or having an awkward phase, braces/glasses. I did ask if Polly could be a groomsman. Sharon immediately shot me down. Sharon is 39. She is the same race as my daughter. This is her first marriage. I tried to answer and many comments as possible. I came home to talk to Sharon today. When I pulled in our driveway, my Emil was sitting there in her car. I got out and went inside trying to avoid talking to Emil. Sharon was sitting at the kitchen table and I joined her. She sat in silence, so I asked the first question, why does Polly not fit the part, and why don't you want her in the wedding at all? Her answer full on shocked me. She quietly said, I was hoping that after the wedding you could become a holiday visit only dad. I didn't want her in the wedding so she wouldn't be in the photos around the house since she wasn't going to be around much. I kept my cool, calmly took her hand, and pulled my engagement ring off. Her eyes started to tear up. She said we shouldn't end the marriage over this and that she can change. I told her the damage was already done. I told her I wanted her things moved out by next week and that she could come get them when my daughter wasn't home. The house is in my name and I paid for it. I was allowing her to get her furniture that she paid for. She stormed out and Emil came knocking on the door saying I was being unreasonable. I couldn't imagine only seeing my daughter 3 or 4 times a year. The fact that Sharon wanted me to give up part of my custody blew me away. I'm sitting on my couch just in shock. Our honeymoon was supposed to be in Hawaii. Looks like me and Polly will be going instead. I will update again if anything happens. Hello everyone. Thank you for all the kind comments and suggestions for Hawaii a few days ago, and Polly is already having a ton of fun. If you have any cool suggestions, please drop them in the comments. As for my ex-fiancée, she has tried to reach out to me wanting to work everything out, saying she only did it because her mom wanted pure grandchildren. I still do not care. If she really loved my daughter and I, she wouldn't have acted on her mother's wishes. Sharon has called my workplace to try and get in touch with me. She has even shown up a few times to try and talk to me, and I've told my supervisor to just ask her to leave. She has gone as far as messaging my ex-wife a few times, wanting to know why her calls won't go through to me. When she caught wind that we were in Hawaii, she was pissed. I'm still close with her brother, and he told me that her and her mom were going to try and get plane tickets. If that's the case, I will likely file a restraining order. Polly has asked what happened to Sharon, and I told her that we come as a package deal and Sharon only wanted me and I couldn't leave her. Polly understood, but I think she was a little heartbroken. I know this update is small, but it's all I have for those asking. I realized I forgot to do an update. P and I had an epic time in Hawaii and she's already talking about wanting to go back. Turns out when my ex-fiancée and her mom tried to buy tickets, the airlines were sold out. Instead, they decided to leave piles of letters at my door. There were maybe 50 envelopes full of pages about how I need to take S back. I honestly didn't read through them all and discarded most of them. So far I've, coincidentally, run into S at grocery stores and gas stations and not paid any attention to her. She attempted to show up at my daughter's Meet the Teacher night, but since she didn't have a kid, she wasn't allowed in. From what I have heard through her brother and dad, she already has a new boyfriend and just wants to get back at me now. As for me, I've out in a restraining order on S. I did see comments asking if I was going to attempt to date again. Let's just say I took my ex-wife with me to Hawaii and we decided to try again. All in all, I'd say I don't expect to be hearing from S or her mother again. And my ex-wife is now moved back in with my daughter and I. Thank you all so much for your support throughout this time.